It's 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. Good morning. President Bush has declared today Patriot Day. What the folks at Silverado Broadcasting did was they sent me to New York City for the weekend. And they said, Timmy, go talk to the people. So that's what I did. Some of the audio you'll hear today, quality-wise, thanks to modern broadcasting and technology, not the best. But the content is quite interesting, I think. First of all, tell everyone your name and where we're from, where we are.
My name is Ben, and we're sitting in Battery Park City by Samantha's Restaurant.
Do you live here?
I actually live over on John Street by the seaport on the other side.
Were you living there last year?
Yeah, I was.
And was your apartment affected in any way?
Well, the building didn't sustain damage, but the whole area was closed off, so my roommate and I were out for a couple of weeks.
Where did you end up living for those couple of weeks? Were you just walking around town?
Well, there's an apartment that my dad and I own on 14th Street that we normally rent out, which luckily hadn't been rented out at the time, so we were able to stay there, which was really lucky.
What type of work do you do, sir?
I work as a freelance musician and musical director and pianist.
So you're starving?
Some of the time, yeah.
If you're comfortable with it, please describe how September 11th affected you, what you were doing that day, how it affected you personally and those around you.
Well, my roommate and I were in our apartment for most of the day, just watching it on TV and sort of feeling, what was going on outside, and every once in a while going downstairs and, seeing people run in and out of the building, and we were sort of torn as to whether we should leave or stay, and people were telling us we shouldn't go outside because of the debris and all of that. So eventually we did leave, and we ran uptown, and but since then, we've sort of followed the ups and downs as far as work, and the few months after that were difficult because people were sort of not really going out for entertainment and hiring musicians for things. So it was difficult.
I lived here 8 years, and I remember I was frozen. I didn't want to go to work. Then when I lost my job because of that, I didn't want to go look for work. Did you find yourself to be frozen and inert?
Somewhat. I mean, there was a period of time where, all I was doing was watching TV and, just following the events. It was a little bit shocking. And then, of course, once we got back into our apartment, every time we left the building, we would be reminded of it because there'd be sort of this hole, at the end of the block.
Did you have any cleanup to do in your apartment? Was it all dusty from the debris?
No, our windows were closed. We had heard of people in our building who had left their window open, things like that. But as far as our apartment, it was actually okay.
What actions did you take to regain your stability and your sense of humor, good nature?
Since I work freelance, I sort of get to pick and choose somewhat what kind of work I do, and I tried to do work that would either take my mind off it or that would be something positive for the community. My collaborator and I also wrote a song based on the events of September 11th, and it's been performed at various benefit concerts and things like that.
What are some of the lyrics of that song?
It's about, the song is entitled Come Home, and it's about, it's sort of vague as to whether it's a woman or a man singing it, but it's someone singing about their spouse, and kind of reminiscing about all the things that they would do together and thinking about how that person's not going to be coming home anymore.
Have you ever in the past year had a second thought about living in this city?
No, not at all.
It's KWIN.
Have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger.
Thousands lost. Millions became one.
Jim's brother John was the pilot of American Airlines Flight 11.
I ask all of you for your prayers, for as I refer to him as Brother John. It's hard to explain losing your big brother.
KWIN remembers.
7778 or call the Stockton Library.
God bless America, my home sweet home.
KWIN remembers.
97.7 and 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. 5:54, 6 before 6. Bush has declared this Patriot Day. He wants your candles burning, your flags waving, your prayers being said. I was in New York over the weekend. Here on 8th Avenue and 48th Street. Sir, who are you and where do you work?
Firefighter Sheridan, ladder 4.
Could you, if you're comfortable at all, describe what you went through personally last year?
No, I'd rather not describe, what we went through, but basically, it was obviously a rough time for us, along with the rest of the country in New York, but we're very thankful for all the support that the whole country has given to us.
I noticed the shrine that was outside your station for so long, it's not here anymore. When did that go away?
We took the shrine inside the house for something personal, something that we look at every day. We don't really want to become a tourist attraction since we are in Times Square.
Let's talk about that. I lived here 8 years, and it is a sort of a tourist attraction. Does that make one uncomfortable, or?
Well, everybody's obviously concerned, and everyone's, most people have good intentions, which is fine, and it's just we're still a firehouse. We're a very busy firehouse, and kind of want to keep things a little bit to ourselves now.
Would it be possible to ask how many of your friends you lost from this firehouse?
There were 15 men lost from this firehouse.
Firehouse that's normally how many people?
There's 14 men working at a time, and there was one guy who was working at a different firehouse. So everybody that was working that day was killed.
I'm not sure what to ask after that question or that answer, but describe how this might have affected you personally. Not the details, but just how you've become a different person.
Basically it's like nothing you could ever imagine happening, and see the whole city, especially the fire department, rise up and through all that adversity. It was obviously a horrible event and something pretty much words can't describe. It was also an amazing thing to be a part of, and the fire department is an amazing thing to be a part of. It still is.
Is it difficult to look at someone from Arab descent with any feelings other than hate?
I don't have feelings for hate for people from Arab descent. Terrorism, you can be, all it is concentrated in an Arab country. There's people in this country that look like me and you that are terrorists, so.
Is there anything that I failed to ask because I'm sort of intimidated right now that you would like to express for the people in California listening?
Like I said, we're very grateful for everyone's support across the country, and just keep us in your prayers.
KWIN, Lodi, Stockton, KWNN, Turlock, Modesto. Stand tall, America.
Gentlemen, the colors for this evening's game will be displayed by members of the USS Cole, the U.S. Marine Corps, the New York, New Jersey Port Authority, and the New York City Police and Fire Departments. The Star-Spangled Banner will be signed for the hearing impaired by New Orleans police officer Joe Narcisse. And now, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem by the Boston Pops under the direction of Keith Lockhart and the biggest selling female recording artist in history, Mariah Carey.
This is 97.7, 98.3 KWIN, 612, 12 past 6. My name's Timmy G. President Bush said today is Patriot Day. I got to spend the weekend in New York. Was unable to go to Pennsylvania or Washington, D.C. The police officers would not speak to me individually, nor would the media relations give interviews. Of course, radio not as glamorous as television. I bet if I had a camera, they might have spoken. So I just brung you the best I got. Timmy G here with Tony, a block away from the World Trade Center. What's your real name? All us Americans call you Tony. What's your real name?
My real name, Ibrahim Ali.
And what country are you from?
Egyptian.
Egyptian. You moved to New York City when?
Moved New York City when?
How long have you been living here?
Like 3 years ago.
3 years ago. But last September you were not here.
No, I was working the store at this time.
So, but you've been on this corner for a couple of months now?
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
And what is your feeling from the people in the city and the people visiting the city? What are their spirits like?
Yeah, everybody's sad. Me too. Everybody. You know, anybody like that. What about the innocent people in the building? You know, doesn't do anything to kill him.
Most people that have never been to New York, I lived in New York 8 years, so I know better. Most people believe that everyone hates anyone of the Middle East out here. How do the local people treat you? What are their feelings towards you personally? Because you look like you could be a terrorist, quote unquote.
You know what? Exactly. Everybody, like my family in my country, is nobody like that. You know, everybody said, you know, and don't like that. Because this is not good. You know, to kill the innocent people, not any relation say that. Any relation, you know, that's it.
You said you're from Egypt, correct?
Yep.
How do you think President Bush is handling the whole situation? Do you think he's doing well? If you were president, if someone attacked your country, how would you have reacted?
How what?
How would you have responded, reacted? What would you have done? Like President Bush went over to Afghanistan, started bombing. Do you think that was right, wrong?
Exactly. I don't want to talk about that because this is for... I don't want to talk about that. I just came to work. I can't say anything about that. Because I'm not president and I'm not going to be president. Yeah.
Have you been selling a lot of pretzels?
Not too much.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now sure is found. Was blind, but now I see.
Are you looking for a special store? Louis for recycling, or call 800-449-4840, or visit cleanup.org for a location near you. This message sponsored by the County of San Joaquin and funded by a grant from the California Integrated Waste Management Board.
Well, Marla, you know, I recycle my used oil.
Really?
KWIN remembers.
We are survivors, and freedom is a survivor.
Let freedom ring loudly.
Telling everybody that I wasn't with it. Oh, it brings tears to my eyes, I can feel it. And I know inside I'm gonna be alright. I said I couldn't do it, but I did it. After telling everybody that I wasn't with it. Oh, it brings tears to my eyes, I can feel it. And that voice inside says I'm gonna be alright.
It's the number one hit music station, 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. 6:45, 25 past 6. This interview is a long one, but I think it's quite interesting, so forgive the length. And most of these aren't even edited very much, because I thought if I edited them, it would take out sort of the feeling. Sir, your name and where you work?
My name is Chris Sheehan. I'm the head brewer here at Chelsea Brewing Company and Pier 59 in the Chelsea Piers, Manhattan.
Tell me about last year, what your role was, what happened?
Well, I was just coming into work when I saw the devastating sight of the plane. Mark was here as well. This is Mark Smaida. He's my assistant. And we were both out on the West Side Highway when we saw the second plane hit. We were basically at a loss as what to do at the time, because obviously it was a really traumatic event, but we ended up just hanging out here and holding the fort, and it was the Secret Service who initially were using this space as a staging area for regrouping, because they have offices right down at Ground Zero, but we had a lot of people coming from down there and congregating here to get on boats that were taking them out to Hoboken. We were basically just holding the fort, pouring beverages for those who wanted any, and making sure that everything was okay here. But they did set up a triage unit outside for the what was at that point hoped to be a rescue effort. Unfortunately, there was really not much rescuing to be done.
How long was the restaurant closed and used as a triage unit?
Probably about 2 or 3 weeks that were totally closed, and then even after we tried to open, the ambulance staging area was still outside on the service road for months. Less and less ambulances as the time went by, but we did not do almost any business on premise for about 3 months.
Were you gentlemen or anyone here sent on errands to get things for the rescuers?
I wouldn't call it errands, but we facilitated this brewery was used as a staging area for loading materials onto the Chelsea Screamer, a big boat that was pulling in here and running goods down to Ground Zero in support of the rescue effort down there.
The Red Cross who took us over and pretty much set up an office in here. And
used the storage area. Volunteers were meeting here, volunteers that were getting on the boats, loading materials onto the boats, going down there, doing whatever could be done down there. So this was kind of a launching pad for the rescue effort.
Did the chef ever come in and make meals for those people?
No, because we weren't really open for business anyway, so the chef didn't have much to do.
We did empty out, even the first day we emptied out all the refrigerators, the freezers, all the food that was on premise was, given away and donated. All the ice, whatever drinks we had bottled was sent down. For the first few days, we pretty much, for the whole time we used our forklift. We're one of the only people down here with a forklift, so tractor trailers were coming in with water and all of that, and we were doing a lot of the unloading of the trucks.
That's what Mark and I were doing. We were operating the forklift and helping to move all these goods around.
Volunteers came from all over the country, correct?
Yes.
Such as what states? Where are they interested?
I don't know. I didn't really speak to too many personally.
The local, the ones I spoke to outside as far as ambulances and ambulance crews were mostly from upstate New York, New England, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, places where they could get ambulances in pretty quick. So, local Northeast area. But I also talked to people from the Red Cross who were here from, California, Wyoming, Nevada, Texas.
Most of the volunteers who were working on just handling goods and loading them to take them down, they were mostly New York City residents.
Did anything specific happen during the weeks that followed that just made you think this is a great country, great city, heartwarming moment?
It broke my heart, but the candlelight vigils for the first week and a half or 2 weeks on every avenue. You would go up to an avenue and hang out from 6 to 8 to 9 o'clock at night and meet your neighbors who you see on the streets all the time but don't stop to talk to, and just hang out on the corner. And they were usually at sunset, and they were supposed to only last an hour, and people would be out there for 3 or 4 hours. And as far up and down the avenue as you could look, since there was no traffic at the time, it was just, candlelight. And little setups on the corners with the missing persons pictures, with candles, flowers, you know.
Anything else you'd like to say for the folks in California that have no idea what happened other than what the TV shows them?
Oh, all I can say is if you didn't see it in real life, then you don't really even know. TV does not really capture what happened down there. When you see it in real life, it really is something that just cannot be described in words.
And I'd just like to thank a lot of people. We did a beer festival out in Denver right after that, and there was just a lot of support for New York, and, you know, a lot of good things. People had a lot of good things to say, and since September 11th in the last year when tourism started to pick up, a lot of tourists have come here and who've never come to New York before because they were afraid. They had this idea that it was a very cold place, that they weren't going to have a good time, and they've had the best times, and the people have been fantastic.
6:30, 6:30. Of all people, the Russian Red Army to break.
States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. KWIN remembers the fallen and our heroes.
This is 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. 6:48, 12 before 7. It's Patriot Day, Bush said, all right? Candles, flags, prayers, all that. Myself, I used to live in New York for 8 years. I was there last year when it happened. I can tell you, cabbies that looked from the Middle East, they were all sporting flags on their shirts, on their cabs. Guys that worked at the delis all had flags. The streets were silent, the crowds were silent, and you could not go to work. Whenever you passed a subway train, a street corner, or especially a firehouse, just shrines everywhere. Pictures of the lost and the missing, and everybody that came to New York was signing. I mean, cookies, cakes, everything was left out at the shrines. So what they did here at KWIN was they sent me to New York for the weekend just to talk to the people. Tried to talk to Derek Jeter of the Yankees, and they wouldn't let me. The reason why Derek Jeter is important is two young girls who lost their father. He was a pilot that day. They wrote him. They wrote Derek Jeter. They said, please, could you do anything for us? We love the Yankees. We lost. And they told them their story. And they were like 10 and 11 years old. The 10-year-old, always, her mother said she'd go around the house singing. Always, constantly singing. Except after the 11th, she was silent. This is where Jeter becomes important. He actually personally called her, said, yes, I'm Derek Jeter. I would love you to be my VIP guest. You, your sister, and your mother come down, see a ball game, hang out with the Yankees. And according to the mother, as soon as that girl hung up the telephone, she began singing. So let's see where I am right now. Here at Battery Park with, your name is?
Elizabeth.
And where are you from?
Now I live in LA.
Ever been to New York before?
Yeah, I lived here for 6 years.
Were you living here last year?
No, but my sister Annie here was.
Describe where Battery Park is for people that don't know.
It's the southern tip of the island. with beautiful views of Brooklyn, Staten Island, and New Jersey.
And the Statue of Liberty also?
The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. I was getting there.
What's it like looking at the Statue of Liberty these days?
Truthfully, as poignant as it's always been. It's always been such a symbol of our freedoms. I love it. I used to work downtown. I'd walk here for lunch and just sit on these benches and look out for this. Find it pretty amazing.
How do you feel about some of our freedoms going away since last year?
I don't know if our freedoms have so much gone away. We've just realized maybe the confinedness within which it exists. And I just think it makes us appreciate our freedoms as they are. The only thing I would add to that is that I think it, in a teeny way, and not even a tenth of it, but it brings us in line a little bit with a lot of other places in the world that have always not been as safe and have experienced a lot more violence. And it maybe brings us a teeny bit closer to what they have to go through all the time, and makes us realize how lucky we are. I hope it makes people realize how lucky we are as Americans.
And your name is?
My name's Ann Moyer.
And Battery Park, one of your favorite places to relax and rest?
Yes, I love it here because, well, it's one of the few places, one of basically two in Manhattan, where you can go and just sit on the grass and enjoy the sun, and the other place is Central Park, but here you can sit and it's on the water's edge, and you get the wind coming off the water, and there's boats going by, and it's just beautiful down here. Really, I love it.
That said, Battery Park was closed for several months, correct?
Yeah, it was.
So where did you relax?
Well, that was in the winter, though, kind of. It was moving into the winter months, so I tend to come here mostly in the summer, fall, and spring. And, honestly, I tried to rollerblade down here a couple times, and you couldn't go any further, and so I just rollerbladed it back in the other direction. You may do.
If you're comfortable, could you tell me what you did that day and what it was like for you personally?
I work in Midtown Manhattan, and I was in my office building, and we have a huge conference room that looks straight down Manhattan, and we just saw everything happen, and there was a big TV in the conference room, so we kind of saw it on TV and saw it live, but we were still removed from it because we were in Midtown, so you just were mostly scared for all the people that you knew were down there.
Were you afraid at all that they might keep attacking?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In fact, we were all kind of stunned into non-action, like didn't know what to do and where to go, and our boss came into the office finally, and he said, because we work right across from St. Patrick's Cathedral, right next to St. Patrick's and right across from Rockefeller Center, and everybody felt vulnerable that day, and we felt kind of vulnerable in those locations, so our boss came in and basically said, you know what, I don't know where you're safe today, but you're not safe here, so go home. And we just kind of needed somebody to tell us what to do, and so we all just poured out on the streets with the rest of all of Manhattan and started walking.
One last question. How long do you think it took for the city to find its sense of humor again?
Honestly, not so long. I mean, you have to mix in humor with the grief, and so I would say within a week or two, people were laughing and making jokes, but that doesn't mean that, especially about Osama and things like that were coming up. But you have to have a sense of humor to get through the hard times, but it doesn't mean that we stopped grieving.
We want Jim Boy's tacos. We know you've got them.
The irresistible taste of Jim Boy's. Fresh, authentic Mexican food like Jim Boy's famous tacos.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't help you folks today, but come back next week for the Sizzling Summer Sales event. This is great.
Jim Boy's Tacos, because sometimes you just gotta have a real taco.
KWIN, Lodi, Stockton. KWNN, Turlock, Modesto. God bless America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
This is 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. It's 7:10, 10 after 7. I am Timmy G. President Bush did say today is Patriot Day. We didn't get a chance to go to Pennsylvania or D.C. I went to New York over the weekend. You know, at the World Trade Center, over 2,800 people lost their lives. You probably knew that. 400 of them emergency responders. In total, 10 major buildings experienced partial or total collapse. And we're talking about 30 million square feet of commercial office space out of service. They said, just talk to the normal people, Timmy. So that's what I did. First of all, where are we, sir?
This is 8 Cortlandt Street, about 100 yards from the World Trade Center.
And your name is?
My name is Pat DiTilio.
And what kind of business do you operate?
I have a pizzeria and the calzone.
Were you here last year?
Yes, we were here last year.
If you're comfortable with it, could you reflect on last year? What happened? What was your day like?
Well, when it happened, we left, and then I wasn't able to reopen for 4 months. And when we did reopen, there's no business anyway, so we started to do a little bit of business around in March when Century 21 opened and the block was reopened. Until then, everything was closed.
Century 21, that's a clothing store, right?
Yes, it's a clothing department store, yes.
What did you do for income for the 4 months that you were shut down?
I took a job with FEMA. They were hiring temporary workers, so I went to work for FEMA, and they put me to work with the Red Cross, help out people that they lost business and they need help for their home, for their home to pay their bills and stuff. So I worked with a Red Cross as an interpreter or as whatever they needed me for.
Did your business receive any money from the money Congress approved at all?
The only money we received from Congress was 10-day grant, 10-day worth of business. As of today, that's all I have received from them. There's money out there, but I don't know who could get it. I have been applying all along. I haven't been getting anything.
How about your apartment? Do you live in the neighborhood?
No, I live in Queens. The Salvation Army helped me for my house mortgage, and FEMA helped me for my house mortgage, and the Red Cross. But it's just to pay the mortgage for my house, so I won't lose the house. But the rest, nothing they have done.
Are people afraid to spend their money, or why? They just haven't come back to work? All the jobs left Manhattan?
The problem is the jobs left from the area. The big business, they all left. They're in New Jersey, Staten Island, they're all over them, but not here. Those few that are left, the workers, it's hard to order food out because they have to come downstairs to pick up their own food. We can't deliver to their office anymore. So that makes us impossible to delivery.
What would you like to see go in replace of the towers?
I would like them to rebuild the new towers, even bigger than they were there. But I don't think it's going to happen. I wish that they would do something soon, because just waiting game, this is not going to work because no customers are here. This way we could get some of the construction workers or some other people. Right now, we just stay in limbo, waiting to decide what they're going to do over there.
Is there anything you'd like to tell the people in California that are listening? Anything that you haven't already said?
Yeah, come down to New York and spend some money. That's what I like to tell them. we can sure need help. We lost 150,000 workers we lost from this area. That means a lot of people left. And they're leaving every day. Every day somebody else has moved, some other company moving out. Workers don't like to work down here because they feel they have a lot of friends that they lost at the site. They don't want to look at it every day.
7:14, 14 past 7. Taking us to commercial. It's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. This is 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. 7:25, 25 past 7. Just talking to the people in New York. What's your name, sir?
Jay.
Jay, and you work in Battery Park doing what?
Selling souvenirs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirt, a lot of things like that.
How long have you been doing that here?
1.5 years.
So you were here last September?
I was here right here. I was here, that place, when I came at like 8:30 in the morning. I saw the tower was burning. The fire is going on in the tower, first tower. And just after 40 minutes later, a second plane from the Staten Island right there. And the plane was like very fast and just like a coming in. When I turned my neck and smashed in the second tower. I closed down my business over there. I was just close to the 3 blocks away from the tower. And like I was watching it, like 5 minutes later, tower collapsed. Then, disaster. I can't explain in words. I don't have words for that. I suffered a lot. People running, saving their lives. Kids, ash, dust. Oh, believe me. I can't forget it. Never ever in my life.
What did you do with all your goods? Did you just leave them and run for yourself, or?
Nah, because, that's the day. So everybody was running for themselves. So I hardly saved my life. I ran through the fence to the Hudson River. When I just reached in the middle of the fence, there was like 50, 60 guys on the same fence, and fence was coming down to the river. Then I said, God is going to save my life. So after that, 1.5 months, the business was closed. Then we came back. Now the things are coming down to normal. Now people getting comfortable, people now getting confidence coming to the New York.
What did you do for income for those 6 weeks that you didn't have a job?
Nothing.
How do the customers that you've had recently, what have their spirits been like, their moods, their emotions?
Yeah, before, right after a couple of months later, when we reopened the business, then people were asking about you was here, where you from? You was here at that day, did you saw? And then I say, yes, I saw everything. Oh, please tell us about that. Oh, so people was curious about that, what happened at that day. So now the time time is a big healer. Now after that, like 1 year has gone. No, if you talk something like that, they don't want to listen. They say it's okay now. Some of them we want to forget that. We don't want to hear anything.
Jay, how long have you lived in the U.S.?
It's 2 years.
Are you a citizen?
Nah.
What country do you come from?
It's enough. I'm a New Yorker, right?
I don't ask.
Like I'm a New Yorker.
You're definitely a New Yorker. That's what I'm trying to get across to the people in California. You're from somewhere near Afghanistan?
Yeah, I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan? You're obviously a hardworking. You're what America's all about. It's a melting pot, different people. You work hard for your money and you contribute to the economy. How do you feel about people with just passports or green cards? Should we let them stay? Should we kick them all out and close the borders? How do you feel about that personally?
If they are loyal to themselves, if they're working hard, then government must have to think about that. If they were cheating, if they're cheating people, cheating themselves, must have to kick them out.
So you're a living proof that we shouldn't be going around bombing Muslim cathedrals and all that because Muslims are good.
Yes, of course, because, when after like September 11, that's why you asked my name, I said Jay. My full name is Muhammad Asif Javed, right? So, in the beginning, the people have like anger and they're crazy about the Muslims. And after that, because this is totally against Islam, what it happened, right? This is not in Islam to kill the innocent people. This is not what jihad is. This is not what Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us. This is against Islam. Whoever did this, God is going to punish him. This is my strong belief in that.
This is KWIN. 97.7 and 98.3 KWIN. 7:41, 19 ahead of 8. I am Timmy G. Spent the weekend in the Big Apple talking to the people. Tried to talk to the police officers. Not allowed. Called their media relations department. Of course, I didn't have a camera. Radio's not glamorous. Most people, even on the streets, were bashful and did not want to speak. I was lucky enough to catch this young man, though, here on 8th Avenue and 48th Street. Sir, who are you and where do you work?
Firefighter Sheridan, ladder 4.
Could you, if you're comfortable at all, describe what you went through personally last year?
No, I'd rather not describe, what we went through, but basically, it was obviously a rough time for us, along with the rest of the country in New York, but we're very thankful for all the support that the whole country has given to us.
I noticed the shrine that was outside your station for so long, it's not here anymore. When did that go away?
We took the shrine inside the house for something personal, something that we look at every day. We don't really want to become a tourist attraction, since we are in Times Square.
Let's talk about that. I lived here 8 years, and it is a sort of a tourist attraction. Does that make one uncomfortable, or?
Everybody's obviously concerned, and everyone's, most people have good intentions, which is fine, and it's just that we're still a firehouse, a very busy firehouse, and kind of want to keep things a little bit to ourselves now.
Would it be possible to ask how many of your friends you lost from this firehouse?
There were 15 men lost in this firehouse.
A firehouse that's normally how many people?
There's 14 men working at a time, and there was one guy who was working at a different firehouse. So everybody that was working that day was killed.
I'm not sure what to ask after that question or that answer, but describe how this might have affected you personally. Not the details, but just how you become a different person.
Basically it's like nothing you could ever imagine happening, and see the whole city, especially the fire department, rise up and through all that adversity. It was obviously a horrible event and something pretty much words can't describe. It was also an amazing thing to be a part of, and the fire department is an amazing thing to be a part of. It still is.
Is it difficult to look at someone from Arab descent with any feelings other than hate?
I don't have feelings for hate for people from Arab descent. Terrorism, you can be, all this concentrated in an Arab country. There's people in this country that look like me and you that are terrorists, so.
Is there anything that I failed to ask because I'm sort of intimidated right now that you would like to express for the people in California listening?
Like I said, we're very grateful for everyone's support across the country, and just keep us in your prayers.
We're
going to try and do something. That was the message sent by some very American heroes with names like Sandra Bradshaw, Jeremy Glick, Mark Bingham, Todd Beamer, and Thomas Bennett. They found themselves aboard the hijacked Flight 93 that went down in Somerset County, Pennsylvania on September 11th, 2001.
This is 97.7 and 98.3 KWIN, 7:53, 7 before 8. I'm Timmy G. I was just talking to the people in the streets of New York all weekend. Here we go. Please tell me the name of the church, where it's located, and your name.
Hi, this is Cynthia Party. I'm at Trinity Church on Wall Street in Manhattan.
And you run the gift store?
I'm one of the volunteers of the parish that help here at the Welcome Center, yes.
Everyone in California is pretty curious how people have responded since September.
I think the response has been enormous and just incredible, and we just can't thank enough everyone who's come here to volunteer and help and offer their support. We actually had to get in line. There were so many people coming to help, and it was overwhelming.
Have you found that attendance at the church services has increased or stayed the same?
I think our parishioners here have been a strong group of people. We're still coming strong. We've had new members. We have visitors all the time. I would say September 11th, we've had more and more people visiting from around the world.
What types of things has the church done to help the local people?
Well, the ministry of this parish helps people dealing with grief and loss. We also were involved in St. Paul's Chapel, which is part of Trinity Church, running the 24-hour mission service there for the workers at Ground Zero. It was a 24-hour operation that just closed in May. We offered food, shelter, counseling, a cup of coffee, a shoulder to cry on, a bench to take a nap on, or anything that we could help out with, we did for them.
What did you find at the time that the rescuers were most in need of?
Just a hello, how are you? A quiet place to sit down. I think there was a beautiful sense of oneness and unity with everyone trying to help out. Maybe a shoulder to cry on, maybe a dry pair of socks to put on.
Was the priest walking around talking to people as well?
It was very quiet. I worked the midnight shift there to 8 a.m. and the priests were there. If people wanted to talk, there was always somebody available there for a conversation, a hello, a hug.
You know what I also forgot to ask? Were you open the whole time, or were you shut down for a few months?
Trinity Church was shut down and did not reopen until November. We were part of the frozen zone here. We could not get in.
Everything looks beautiful. Was it difficult to get all the dust and everything away?
The cleanup was tremendous. I came back on a Saturday following to get some clothing, and I was just impressed by the amount of debris that was already removed from the streets and the buildings. But it was months long of cleanup.
7:56, 4 before 8. In the commercial, it's Boys to Men. At least that's what it said when I stole it off the internet.
Stores in town will install your new car.
KWIN's Thirsty Thursday, where all domestic beers and sodas will be just $1. It's been 10 years since our last championship. Help the Ports claim another. Don't miss the San Joaquin Valley's best entertainment value. It's the Stockton Ports baseball team and their drive for the 10th Cal League Championship. Call 644-1900 for ticket information or visit their website at StocktonPorts.com.
KWIN, Lodi, Stockton. KWNN, Turlock, Modesto. One station under God. This is the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave.
Beautiful, my good, with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea, from sea to shining sea.
Saluna. Man, this is KWIN. What's going on? It's 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. 11 past 8, 8:11. I'm Timmy G. Spent all weekend in New York City talking to people like this man. first of all, standing here at the corner of Broadway and 49th. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mike. I'm from New Jersey. I live in Jersey City, actually right across the Hudson River. I was actually awake when I heard everybody outside, because my view was right. The trade centers were right in my backyard, practically. They're right. I could see them right from my window. And I just heard everybody in the street, oh my God. I jumped out of bed, looked out the window, I saw the smoke, and I saw the first tower fall, which was unbelievable. I was like just looking at it, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You heard no noise, no nothing. All you saw was the building going straight down. All you see was smoke. I mean, I can imagine how it could have been being there, the people involved in it, working there, or the firefighter, the policeman. I can imagine how it was.
Have you been a street musician on this corner for very long?
On this corner, no. But in New York City, I've been doing this for a good 10 to 12 years.
So could you express for the listeners in California what the city was feeling, how long it took to get back to normal, if at all, or just describe the emotions and feelings of the people?
Get back to normal? I don't think things are back to normal yet, really. I tell you the truth, a lot of the people, I feel a lot, people are closer, I feel. Like in other words, they're closer. I think it should always been like that. And, it's a shame that a tragedy like this made everybody, come closer. That's what I know. I know people more friendlier since it happened, and people are bonding together more. Less hatred. Among ourselves. Americans, less. I noticed that. I noticed that since it happened.
Thank you very much. Would it be possible to take us to commercial with America the Beautiful, or?
Yeah, sure.
It's 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. 8:27, 27 past 8. Mr. President said today is Patriot Day. He wants your candles burning, your flags waving. He wants you praying for everybody. All right? People here at KWIN sent me around New York City over the weekend just to talk to people, so that's what I did. What is your name and where are you from, sir?
My name is Seth Taylor, and I'm from New Mexico.
First time in New York since last year?
Actually, I've been back in New York for a few weeks. I come every summer to run a summer camp program in upstate New York.
And ma'am, your name is?
Vivian Mark.
Also from New Mexico?
No, from New York.
Were you living here last year?
Yes, I was.
And right now you're standing looking at the gaping hole where the two buildings were. Could I ask you what thoughts are going through your head at the moment?
Well, we were kind of talking about how this now being the anniversary, how being here a year ago would have, how different it is now and how unsafe it would have been to be right here during that time. But I was here a year ago, probably very close to this day, and I was actually down in this area the day after it occurred, so I'm thinking about that.
Could I ask what you were doing on the 11th and how it affected you personally that day?
I was working at St. Vincent's and hospital, and I was basically working in the emergency room that day and standing and watching a lot of it happen from 7th Avenue.
St. Vincent's is how far from here?
St. Vincent's is on 11th Street, 11th and 12th Street on 7th and 6th Avenue.
So did everyone work 3-4 days straight after that?
We worked in shifts, but we did work like 24-hour shifts.
Were volunteers bringing food and coffee, that sort of thing?
That was great, yeah. The community really came together to help each other out, and I think people just wanted to feel like they needed to do something. So helping those who they thought were helping people more directly were just ways for people to reach out.
I remember crowds were cheering when the workers were being driven down here.
Yeah, that was great. They were doing that for months on the West Side Highway.
So you were in New Mexico at the time?
Actually, I just left New York 5 days prior, and I was in northern Wisconsin on an island there called Washington Island.
You probably thought immediately to call Vivian, yet all the communications were on top of the towers. Did you find it difficult to call people you cared about in New York?
We actually had the way we kept in contact with people was through the internet, and we had a huge internet mailing list, hundreds and hundreds of people that are involved in the summer camp and friends of mine. And within 2 days we knew where everybody was, and we were able to account for everybody. But it was just hours and hours on the internet trying to figure out where people were.
Vivian, for you, do you think it would have helped the Americans if, not to make it a Disneyland, but if everyone could have come down here personally and seen the wreckage, they'd be behind President Bush more and just have more patriotism, that sort of thing?
I don't necessarily think that. I think people on an individual basis have to decide whether this is a place that they need to come to see. But I don't necessarily think that people need to come down here in order to feel patriotic. I think that people really did rally in support of what a lot of what we were doing as a country. To a lot of people, the site is important to come visit, but I don't think everybody needs to do that.
This is KWIN.
Join me in saying a prayer for the victims and their families. God bless.
It's 97.7 and 98.3 KWIN. I am Timmy G, 8:45, 8:45. You know, last year, 8:46 was the moment the first of the Twin Towers was struck by the first hijacked airliner. Tough day for everyone. People in LA thought that they would be bombed because they have nuclear power plants and they have a huge airport. People in Livermore thought the lab would get bombed. So everyone was scared and nervous. But think about it. 8:46, you're working in your office and you see an airplane barrel into your building, maybe your desk. All you can do is call your loved one. No answer. You call again. She picks up. He picks up. And the only thing you can say is, I don't know if I'm going to get out of here, babe, but if I do, I'll see you. If not, I love you. Just close your eyes and think about that if you can. And try to remember those we lost. Try to remember those you have. Tell them you love them. Don't be afraid to hug somebody today, all right? And just be quiet for a moment. This is 97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. If you're just joining the broadcast, KWIN sent me to New York for the weekend, and I was talking to people like this young man here. Sir, what is your name?
Mihan Harmesh.
And you run the pizza place here?
Excuse me?
You run this pizza place?
Yeah.
Could you reflect for the people in California that are curious about what you went through that day?
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened that day when this thing happened? Terrible. I was not open that time when it happened, but I was stuck in the train. But whatever happened, it was so bad. It was terrible. So painful.
Did you come to work that day once you saw it?
And the train stuck under the tunnel for long hours, like almost 2.5 hours. And anyhow, they took us out, from the train. And when we came out, they don't let anybody to come to this in the downtown area. So because it was not possible to anybody to come here.
How long was your business closed?
Almost a month.
Have you found business to be slow, or has it picked up?
It was dead that time when I opened, but still it is affected.
For the 6-month anniversary, they lit up the space where the towers were with big blue lights, correct?
Say it again?
For the anniversary in March, 6 months, they lit the towers where they were with blue light. Did that make you feel good? Some people didn't like it?
No, that was feeling good, like some kind of another way you to show the symbols of the same towers to the people. And some people I heard they say this is a blue light we have, and it was good. Another way to give the respect to the people and to the symbol to show the same twin towers to the people.
May I ask what country you're from?
I'm originally from India, but been in New York so many years.
It's a melting pot.
Excuse me?
It's the melting pot, New York.
Melting pot what?
New York is the melting pot. Everyone from all the world comes here.
It's like 40% of the population of New York is from different countries.
They say there's more Puerto Ricans in New York than there are in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, even Puerto Rican work for me.
So you have a lot of love for this town?
I like this town and I love New York.
And you'll only go back to India to visit. You'll never move there again, right?
I visit couple times, but from last couple of years I never been in India.
How have the locals been treating you? The people, the New Yorkers, are they being nice to you, or?
All are friendly. New York is like a loving place. Everybody, different people love everybody, and I love all of them too.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I'd like to say, hopefully the business is going to be okay. People don't feel much, scared, and everybody will come back. Whoever gone away after this tragedy, and things are going to be hopefully normal, and hope for the best.
If you were the mayor or the governor, what would you do in that area now? Would you build?
Yeah, rebuild the same thing as it was. So the people know outside who attacked on this tower. So we are not we are still strong, and we have to do the same way as it was. I do the same if I could be.
What's your favorite patriotic song?
My patriotic song, the American national anthem.
Do you know the words?
I know the words. My even small kid, he sing every day at home.
How does it start?
Oh man, you are asking so many questions now.
That's my job, is to ask all the questions. Man, I smoked a lot of cigarettes over the weekend. It's 8:56, 4 ahead of 9.
Dance Audio City's TV start at $49. You can get a flip-down TV and DVD player, both for only $259. If you want a custom TV in your dash, sun visor, or headrest, Audio City has it for you. You won't find prices lower than Audio City. Bring in any ad, and Audio City will beat it by 20% or more. Stop into Audio City at Hammer Lane in Montalban, next to Levis, or give them a call. 956-4500.
KWIN, Lodi, Stockton. KWNN, Turlock, Modesto. God bless America.
moved in liberating strife. Who more than self, yeah, country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, make God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesties. The fruity plain. But now wait a minute. I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed His grace on thee. He crowned not good. Yes, He did. Any brotherhood from sea to shining sea. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. America, I love you, America. You see, my God, He done shed His grace on thee. You ought to love Him for it, 'cause He crowned out good. He told me He would. Every brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, Lord, I thank you, Lord.
This is the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. KWIN remembers the fallen and our heroes.
Would you be my girl? You should be my girlfriend. Would you be my girl? You should be my girlfriend.
This is 97.7 and 98.3 KWIN. It's 8:09, 9:08. I'm Timmy G. I got to spend the weekend in New York talking to people like this young man. What's your name, sir?
Jay,
Jay, and you work in Battery Park doing what?
selling souvenirs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, a lot of things like that.
How long have you been doing that here?
1.5 years.
So you were here last September?
I was here right here. I was here that place when I came up like at 8:30 in the morning. I saw the tower was burning. The fire is going on in the tower, first tower. And just after 40 minutes later, a second plane from the Staten Island right there. And the plane was like very fast and just like a coming in. When I turned my neck and smashed in the second tower. I closed down my business over there, and I was just close to the 3 blocks away from the tower. And I was watching it, like 5 minutes later, the tower collapsed. Then, disaster. I can't explain in words. I don't have words for that. I suffered a lot. People running, saving their lives. Kids, ash, dust. Oh, believe me. I can't forget it. Never ever in my life.
What did you do with all your goods? Did you just leave them and run for yourself, or?
Nah, because, that's the day. So everybody was running for themselves. So I hardly saved my life. I ran through the fence to the Hudson River. When I just reached in the middle of the fence. There was like a 50, 60 guys on the same fence, and fence was coming down to the river. Then I said, God is going to save my life. So after that, 1.5 months, the business was closed. Then we came back. Now the things are coming down to normal. Now people getting comfortable, people now getting confidence coming to the New York.
What did you do for income for those 6 weeks that you didn't have a job?
Nothing.
How do the customers that you've had recently, what have their spirits been like, their moods, their emotions?
Yeah, before, right after a couple of months later, when we reopened the business, then people were asking about you was here, where you from? You was here at that day, did you saw? And then I say, yes, I saw everything. Oh, please tell us about that. So people was curious about that, what happened at that day. So now the time is a big healer. Now after that, like 1 year has gone. No, if you talk something like that, they don't want to listen. They say it's okay now. Some of them we want to forget that. We don't want to hear anything.
Jay, how long have you lived in the U.S.?
It's 2 years.
Are you a citizen?
Nah.
What country do you come from?
It's enough. I'm a New Yorker, right?
I don't ask.
Like I'm a New Yorker.
You're definitely a New Yorker. That's what I'm trying to get across to the people in California. You're from somewhere near Afghanistan?
Yeah, I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan? You're obviously a hardworking. You're what America's all about. It's a melting pot, different people. You work hard for your money and you contribute to the economy. How do you feel about people with just passports or green cards? Should we let them stay? Should we kick them all out and close the borders? How do you feel about that personally?
If they are loyal to themselves, if they're working hard, then government must have to think about that. If they were cheating, if they're cheating people, cheating themselves, must have to kick them out.
So you're a living proof that we shouldn't be going around bombing Muslim cathedrals and all that because Muslims are good.
Yes, of course, because, when after like September 11th, that's why you asked my name. I said Jay. My full name is Muhammad Asif Javed, right? So in the beginning, the people have like anger and they're crazy about the Muslims. And after that, because this is totally against Islam, what it happened, right? This is not in Islam to kill the innocent people. This is not what jihad is. This is not what Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us. This is against Islam. Whoever did this, God is going to punish him. This is my strong belief in that.
It's 9:13, 13 past 9. This is KWIN.
From Sacramento to St. Louis, Denver.
'97.7, 98.3 KWIN. I'm Timmy G. Hey, it's 9:24, 24 past 9. They didn't have the budget to send me to Pennsylvania or D.C., so they said, Timmy, you're going to New York. And you're going to meet the people and talk to them. Police officers wouldn't talk to me. I don't know if you heard me say that before. They're not allowed. One fireman did. I heard that a couple times. And these folks were nice enough to talk with a microphone in their face. Here on 8th Avenue at an adult beverage establishment with Ken and Noel. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. You've been living in this city for how long, folks?
4 years. 4 years.
Noel, you were just telling me a quick story about what?
About 9/11.
What happened in your life?
I guess what you want to tell your viewers,
listeners,
is that on 9/11 my husband had decided, he just turned 50, and he decided to start going to the gym and working out, become a body beautiful. And on that particular day, he was actually at the gym, and I was really annoyed with him because I was late for work and I had to wait for him because we used to catch the 9 and the 1, the subway down to the World Financial Center together.
used to have a cigarette, didn't we? She used to have a cigarette every morning at 8:45 outside the Twin Towers.
And I was late for my 8:45 cigarette. So sometimes they say smoking kills you, but I guess at this point, I was waiting for my husband, we took the tube down, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and we stopped at Canal Street.
Yeah, they threw us off.
They threw us off, so we got out, and there was like lots of confusion, there was lots of
screaming. There was people running out screaming, listening to radios, and it was really, really bizarre, wasn't it? It was like a movie.
We weren't too sure what had actually happened, and we'd asked somebody what had happened, and they sort of said they thought there was like 2 bombs, and then somebody else said a plane, and then when somebody else said there was 2 planes, then I guess we realised how serious it was, because like 2 planes is not an accident.
We walked towards it, so we got all the way down to Chambers Street, and it was like this crowd of people. It's like a science fiction movie, because you watch these movies where the crowd start walking towards the buildings, and I said, because we come from England and we know about terrorism, I said, this is wrong. There's something not right here, because usually they draw the crowd in, and so I said, we'll walk away, and the crowd just carried on walking without us, and we walked backwards, and then
suddenly we looked up, we saw the 2 buildings. They were like, first of all, they were like on fire, and what did we say? It looked just like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It was something like out of one of his fictions. It was incredible.
In the commercial, it's Broadway Kids because it sounds really nice.